Whenever I have a potential client come my way, one of the first things that we do on a call is we look at the growth ceiling calculator. It's my favorite way to determine if you were actually stuck at a growth point in the membership or if we still have potential for growth. And we determine it based on your member acquisition and your retention. I broke this down in a recent guest expert training that I did within the Heartbeat community. So I wanted to share this clip with you so that you understand how I think through things with membership owners on potential client calls so that we can look at where they need to grow in acquisition and or retention to hit the member number that they're looking to achieve. I really want you to understand why churn is so important. And so this is a spreadsheet that if you've never seen anything called a growth ceiling, you're going to thank me for showing this to you, and you're also going to hate me for showing this to you, but it's going to give you a lot of relief as to maybe why you're experiencing what you're experiencing inside of your membership. I'm telling you, like, even the multi-seven-figure membership owners, this is still something that many of them have never seen. So growth ceiling is a pretty ridiculous calculation, but this spreadsheet kind of does it for us. And so what we're looking at right here is trying to figure out how many members can I max out on based on how many members I have now. So this is the start of the month right here. How many new members I get every single month on average. If you do launches, you just add it all up and divide it by 12, right? And then my churn rate, which is that opposite of retention. So this is a 10% churn, which would mean I'm retaining 90% of my members month to month. And then it calculates everything else for us. Members lost, members gain, etc. We can put our average monthly price in. I put just like a standard $47 a month in here for us to get some of these MRR, which is our monthly recurring revenue number. But what I really want to look at here is this number. It's telling us that the most members we can have is 200 members. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that if I have 500 members now, I get 20 members on average every single month, and I'm losing 10% of those every month. You can see it right here, how it happens. You're just going to keep going down until you get to 200 members, okay? So what most people will do is they'll say, well, I just need to get better at marketing. I just need to put more money in ads. I need to start a YouTube channel now, or whatever it is. And then they go, okay, now I'm going to get, let's say 50. Let's up this to 50 new members a month, right? Even more than doubling the amount of new members we're getting every single month, you know what happens? We just plateau. 500. That's as big as we can get if we don't move our churn rate at all, move that retention rate. So you put all this effort in and you hit that ceiling and you can't get past 500 members, or you can't get past 1,000 members or 100 members. You're going to get there at some point. Everybody is getting a certain amount of members every single month and a certain amount of churn every month, and eventually we'll hit a growth ceiling. It's just the way the math works. So here's what I want to show you, which is really cool about retention. You saw that we increased it to 50 monthly new members, and we're still sitting at 500. We can't get past it. But if we decrease this churn rate, let's say we cut it in half, we have a 95% retention rate now, and we look over here and we see we can grow to 1,000 members by cutting our churn in half. We don't have to get any more members. We didn't change this number at all. Monthly new members did not change at all. We're just doing a better job at keeping the people we already have. And now we can get up to 1,000 new members. We can more than double the size of our membership. And then we get really fun here when we talk about numbers. I love this spreadsheet because what it's going to do is it's going to help you see the dollar signs behind retention. Okay, so when we look at this at first, we're going to look at starting with 500 members. Okay, same thing we were just looking at, 500 members. But we're going to look at something more like an 80% retention, which I have people come to me all the time who have an 80% retention rate. We still have this $47 here. We're only changing 3 numbers. We've got 500 members, 80% retention, $47. This is telling us one of the most important numbers for a membership owner, your LTV, or your lifetime value. What this means is every new member you get in the door is worth $235 for you if you're charging $47 a month and you have an 80% retention rate. So what I can do now is I can project for you if you have 500 members and you're earning $235 a member, I can project for you how much that is worth to you. It's $117,000. Okay? It's a good amount of money, right? But what if we increase our retention rate by 10%? What's going to happen? Okay? We just doubled those numbers. So 10% increase in retention rate. And now we get $470 for every new member, which means you can now spend more money to get new members in the door, which is nice. Increase that marketing budget. And I'm looking at $235,000, not $117,000. And so 90% retention is something a lot of people shoot for, and that's really amazing and great. But what I want to show you is that we just did a 10% increase in retention to double our numbers. But when you get up past 90%, it gets a lot easier to double. So now we're going to do a 5% increase in retention to 95%. And we just doubled again. So going from 90 or 80 to 90%, we double the lifetime value and double that revenue. Going from 90 to 95%, half the amount of retention increase, we've still doubled that. So now we're looking at almost $1,000 for every new member that's coming in, and we're looking at $470,000, right? Up from $117,000. So this is why I focus on retention, and I am such a nerd about this, because it's so important, right? It's so important that we understand the value of retention.